Hi guys, I hope that you're all doing well. Welcome to today's video in which I will be sharing with you some of the prettiest fragrances for spring for women. If you would like to find out more, definitely keep on watching. First up on today's list, we have one of my favorite raspberry fragrances, and this one is Empathy by the House of Oud. This bottle has to be the prettiest bottle in my perfume collection. The House of Oud presentation is by far one of the best that I have ever seen. This one is so gorgeous. The fragrance itself is absolutely stunning. This one is such a pretty girl fragrance in my opinion. It's very sweet and fruity and sparkling and juicy. It opens up with this gorgeous raspberry note. Then we also have a little bit of tobacco, adding some extra sweetness and depth. And in the dry down, this one kind of becomes a little bit woody and musky. There's an oud note listed for this fragrance, obviously the House of Oud, but the oud is not very present. I do not pick up the oud at all, so don't be scared of the oud in this fragrance. This one is just a gorgeous, fruity, juicy, sparkling, bubbly, girly fragrance. It's absolutely perfect for spring. Next up, we have a fragrance which I haven't heard anyone else talk about, but this one is so pretty, it's so gorgeous, and this one is Oro Rosa by Bois 1920. This is such a pretty scent. It's very girly, but it's also very sexy and seductive in my opinion. It's fresh, it's floral, it's fruity, it's juicy. It opens up with a blast of fruitiness. There is melon, pear, apple, some citrus as well. Then you start to get the rose, there is lychee as well, and in the dry down it becomes very musky. Now this one kind of reminds me of the Lina, but not exactly the same. As I said before, this one kind of smells to me like a mix between Herba Pura and the Lina. You have this juicy fruitiness and you have the rose with the lychee, and in the dry down the muskiness. This one is the ultimate pretty spring fragrance. It's one that when you wear it, people will notice you and they will compliment you. This is one of my most complimented fragrances for spring and summer, and it's just gorgeous. Next up, we have one of my current obsessions, and this one is Dolce Nissa by Superfumista. This right here is the ultimate pretty girl fragrance. If you love fragrances like Oriana, this right here is a must-have for you. You would absolutely love this one. It's so sweet and creamy and fruity, and it's just so gorgeous. It's mouth-watering, delicious. It opens up with some strawberries and milk, so it's creamy and lactonic, but it's also a little bit sour because of the strawberry note. Then you start to get this realistic apple note. It's so fruity and sweet and delicious, and the apple note is super realistic to me. It kind of smells like a green crisp apple, but at the same time it smells like a sweet red apple to me. We also have cotton candy in this fragrance, some sugary, fluffy, powdery marshmallows, and orange blossom. It's a little bit floral because of the orange blossom note. When you hear the notes, you would imagine this one to be extremely sweet, but no, this one is very well balanced. It is a sweet fragrance, but it's also a little bit sour because of the berries, as I said. Then the apple is adding this addictive fruitiness. The orange blossom is adding a little bit of a floral nuance as well. It's not overpowering, it's not cloying or anything like this. It has some light airiness about it. It's powdery, it's creamy. Imagine Oriana, but with a delicious apple note, some strawberries, cotton candy, and some milk. This one is it's amazing. We have another amazing strawberry fragrance, and this one is Kate Spade by Kate Spade. This right here is so gorgeous. When you spray the fragrance, you get the strawberries. They're fresh and sweet, but you also get a lot of citruses. In the heart, we have some florals. There is a gorgeous rose note, which is not overpowering. It's very fresh and a little bit sweet. We have some freesia as well, adding some extra freshness. In the dry down, we have some cashmere. When I smell this fragrance, I imagine myself being outside in the sun in a garden. It's a bright, sunny, warm day, but the air is crisp and fresh. There are some strawberries growing in there. I have some roses as well, and I'm sipping on a refreshing lemonade. This is what it smells like to me. It's so gorgeous, fruity, citrusy, floral, fresh, bright, uplifting. The perfect strawberry scent for the spring and summer. If you love fruity floral fragrances, this one is a must-have. In the dry down, the fragrance becomes a little bit woody, soft, clean, musky. It's absolute perfection. Coming up, we have some of the prettiest vanilla fragrances which would be perfect for spring, and the first one is Matelda by Profumo di Firenze. This here is such a stunning vanilla fragrance. It's sweet and creamy and delicious and yummy and fruity at the same time. To me, this one smells like the most delicious vanilla ice cream with some peaches. It's so creamy and so sweet, super delicious, but it has this addictive fruitiness in there because of the peach. It feels fuzzy and sparkling. It's honestly mouth-watering. It's one of the creamiest, most delicious vanilla fragrances I have tried. Now, this fragrance has some interesting notes, and when you look at the notes, you would not precisely imagine it would smell like this. It opens up with a peach blossom note, but it definitely smells like a peach to me. Then there is some chamomile in the middle notes, and in the dry down we have a lot of sandalwood, musk, tonka bean, and vanilla. One of the most delicious creamy vanilla fragrances I have tried. And of course, this list would not be complete without Dama Bianca, the most gorgeous vanilla fragrance, perfect for spring, sparkling, fruity, floral, citrusy, bright, fresh, very elegant and sophisticated. This is one of the most gorgeous fragrances in my perfume collection. She is absolutely stunning. If you haven't tried Dama Bianca already, you absolutely need to. The prettiest fragrance for spring and summer in my opinion. It has freshness, it has brightness, but it's also a little bit powdery. You have some beautiful purple florals in here, iris, violet, some lilac, which are absolutely stunning. If you enjoy floral vanilla fragrances, this one is a must-have. Vanilla in here is not overpowering or too sweet. It's very soft and delicate and fluffy and airy. It's the most gorgeous, unique, sophisticated, elegant vanilla fragrance that every woman needs to have in her perfume collection. Next up, we have another gorgeous vanilla scent, and this is Gentle Fluidity Gold. Again, a must-have for every woman who enjoys vanilla fragrances. This is another pretty girl scent that is so gorgeous, one of my favorites. It's light and airy and fluffy and sweet and powdery at the same time. It's so addictive, it's so elegant, it's super sexy to me as well. This is a fragrance which is a huge compliment getter. It's so easy to like, it's so easy to wear. It is a sweet fragrance, but it definitely has some freshness and brightness in there as well. If you love vanilla fragrances and for some reason you still haven't tried this one, you absolutely have to. It's fresh and bright and airy, but powdery and sweet and delicate and so elegant. It's so beautiful. This is just one of the prettiest vanilla fragrances I have tried, one of my favorites, a gorgeous signature scent as well. Coming up, we have two amazing rose fragrances which would be perfect for spring and summer, and the first one is Hibiscus Mahajad by Maison Crivelli. I have this sample which is going to last me for ages because with this one I do like 2 sprays, sometimes even 1, because this one is a very strong, polarizing, powerful fragrance. You have to go light on the sprays with this one, otherwise you're going to choke yourself out and everyone else around you. This is also a very unique fragrance in my opinion, one that you absolutely need to try first before you buy. Not blind buy safe at all, not that any fragrance is blind buy safe, but this one you just have to try before you buy it. It's not for everyone. As I said, it's very strong, very powerful. It is a very beautiful fragrance, very sexy, very feminine, very elegant as well. It is very fruity and bright and sweet, and in here we have hibiscus, we have a gorgeous rose note with a lot of vanilla. There is also a little bit of mintiness in here, which I absolutely feel. It adds this kind of cooling freshness in the background, and there is also some cassis adding some extra fruitiness. This would just be the perfect date night fragrance for spring and summer. Sexy, seductive, alluring, powerful, intoxicating. It's just phenomenal. If you love rose fragrances with some fruitiness and with some sweetness, you have to try this one. The next fragrance would also make the perfect date night scent because it is also very sexy, and this one is Flamenco by Ramon Monegal. This is a gorgeous fruity rose fragrance too. It opens up with a raspberry note and some apple, bright and juicy and fruity and sparkling, and then we have some rose in the middle notes. In the dry down we have some cedar, some cypress. This is also a fragrance which is very unique in my opinion. It is very fruity and sweet and floral and bright and uplifting, but it's so sexy and so seductive and so luxurious as well. It's so deep too. In the dry down, as I said, we have a lot of woodiness and some greenness. It's absolutely intoxicating. This is just a luxurious, seductive, sexy, fruity floral fragrance that will be just so beautiful for spring and summer. For date nights, you just can't go wrong with this one. sexy and intoxicating. And last but not least, we have the ultimate pretty girl scent, Oriana by Parfums de Marly. This is one of my favorites. It's very sweet and fun and playful and girly, but it's also very fruity and bright and citrusy. I absolutely adore the contrast between the citruses with the sweetness in here. We have marshmallows, sugary, powdery, sweet, creamy whipped cream, some musk in the dry down too. We have a lot of raspberry, and it's just the perfect scent for spring in my opinion. It has sweetness, it has brightness, it has some fruitiness. So this was all for today, guys. These are some of my favorite spring pretty girl fragrances. Let me know down in the comments what are your favorite perfumes for spring. If you stayed up until the end of the video, as always, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the content, definitely consider subscribing to the channel, and I will see you next time.